Hi there everyone, it's Linnea for Miss Ink Stamps, and I have a glitzy card for you today. I'm going to be using the Heirloom Blooms stencil. This is a recently released stencil and one of my favorites. This has a lot of fine detailed areas to it, so I am going to make sure that I spray this really well with my Pixie spray. That's just a temporary adhesive, but I want to make sure that my stencil is not going to shift as I'm doing my stenciling. So I'm going to put this over top of my white cardstock and just give it a really good press. And sometimes I even come in with my brayer at the back. This time I'm just going to use my stencil pal to really press that on. I'm going to spread out some red velvet Glitz Glitter Gel, just using a palette knife because it's easier to scoop it out of the jar with. And then I'm going to come in with my stencil pal and smooth this all over my background. I like to use the stencil pal because, as you can see, it's as wide as my card, so it makes it so that I don't have any indents or anything like that in my card as I'm doing my stenciling. When I peel this off, I hope that you love it as much as I do, and I swear it gets prettier and sparklier as it dries. So I'm just going to set that aside for now and work on some coloring. I have the Miss Ink Stamps Gardenia stamp set. This is a beautiful floral arrangement, and I don't think I've stamped it yet. So I'm going to stamp and color that in white, but I'm going to grab a sentiment from the Magnolia Sympathy stamp set and stamp them both at once. Coloring with markers is something that I've been working on a lot lately, especially adding depth and shading to my coloring. Coloring whites is something that I really struggle with because I tend to go heavy-handed with my marker. You want to add just small, thin lines with the tip of the marker with your darkest color, but I have a bad habit of pressing too hard. So while a lot of tutorials have you start with C7, I'm going to omit C7 and I'm just going to start with C5 and then color with C3, C2, C1, and C0, and then blend it all together with the colorless blender. So I'm starting with C5. I'm sorry this is blurry. I guess I was having some camera troubles today, but I don't want to cut it out because then you won't see any of the coloring. Started with C5, adding just a little bit of shading, and then I pull out that shadow with C3. Then I come in with the C2, the C1, and the C0, just with each marker pulling out the color a little bit more, but still leaving a white highlight. Then I will color over with the C0 or with just the 0 blender marker to blend all those colors together. Now for my greens, I have been loving this green color combination for florals: YG17, YG25, YG23, and YG21. So again, I'm going to start with my darkest color, my YG17, and just add a line of shading. So leaves are easier for me. I'm going to make sure that I color a line right up that center vein of the leaf, and then I bring a line along the bottom edge because I think that's where there will be a shadow. And then I'm going to just extend those lines with my next marker, YG25, and then I will extend those lines even further with the YG23, and then all over with the YG21. This just seems to be the easiest way for me to color, but there are a lot of ways. If you just want to color with 2 markers, that's absolutely okay. In fact, that is the way that I color the majority of the time, but I've just been practicing working up and building my shadows, so that's why I have 4 markers for this blend right now. But you definitely don't have to. You can make this as easy or really as complicated as you want to color. Once that is all done, I'm going to use my scissors and just fussy cut around this image. It's a larger floral image, but it's very easy to fussy cut. I didn't have any problems. I also added some white gel pen highlights, another thing that I've been doing a lot lately that I really like. Okay, here's that Heirloom Blooms background, all dry. And see what I say? It gets shinier and sparklier as it dries. I don't usually put things right in the center of my card, but I'm going to do it for this one because I think that floral cluster just needs to go right in the center of that gorgeous Glitz Glitter Gel background. So that is my finished card. I popped those up with foam And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will leave links to all the products I used in today's video in the description below. As always, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you soon. Bye!